What is going on, everybody? Welcome to Schrishzen Thoughts, where I talk about stuff, and today we're going to talk about micro tweaks. Before I get started, I want to shout out to all my subscribers, shout out to anybody new coming across this channel. Comments and feedback are always welcome, and if you like what you hear, feel free to subscribe. If you do subscribe, make sure you hit the bell icon, that way you get notifications whenever I do make new videos. So, started kickboxing, and one of the things that I've really enjoyed is the micro stuff. So, doing other practice like the yoga and on it, I've gotten really big on picking up how much of a difference a micro tweak makes. Micro tweak, if you're not familiar with the term, being that like small change which will kind of make a huge difference in the way that things turn out. And last night was a class where I noticed this. So first class that I went to, the way that I was taught to punch, it's just like there's a way that I just naturally stand, that my hands fall. So learning to punch, throwing the jab regular. The next class that I went to, dude, it's like when you throw it, turn your hand over. So when I'm doing it, I'm turning my hand over. The third class that I went to, I'm doing it and turning my hand over, and the dude corrected me. He's like, don't twist it over like this, you want to bring it back to where it's more level. And I'm like, well, last class he was like, turn your hand over. So if I'm turning my hand over, it's all turning to this. So in last night's class, I was doing the same thing. I was like, yeah, I'm doing it the way that they taught, turning the hand over. And I'm like, he comes up and he corrects me. He's like, when I'm standing, I hold my arm is out like this. So that micro tweak of turning it from here, standing like this, to this, leads to the turnover being even. When I was standing normal, turnover, you could see the angle difference. So just that micro tweak of taking my hands from here to here, turnover, it's even. So those that kind of a micro tweak, it's like it was one of those, I feel much better, I see what you're talking about, I get this difference. This makes a huge difference. Same thing with throwing kicks, is the hip turns played out in things like in yoga, where doing even going from your down dog position to a lunge, when you're bringing your knee from that down dog, kick your leg up, and bringing your knee, trying to bring your foot up between your legs to get it, or between your hands to get your foot between your hands, if you're not doing the same motion that you do in your cat pose, where you're arching your back, if you don't arch your back, you're going to have to jerk your leg up. You're going to have to jerk your leg to get it all the way up between your hands. If you do the micro tweak of arching your back, your leg, which should smoothly be able to be placed in front of you, or at least get a lot closer without having to jerk it up there. It's the micro tweaks. Play it out even further into life. Talking to a dude last week, he had gotten into a little bit of an argument with the security guard, and the micro tweak was the way that you address the situation, where he's asking me, he's like, yo, was I wrong? Am I wrong for how I responded? Or was I wrong for doing this? I'm like, I'm not even gonna, or was I warranted? I'm like, I'm not even gonna speak on were you right or wrong or warranted. I'm like, you might have been, but was your response necessary? Micro tweak. Rather than looking at whether you were warranted, rather than looking at whether you were necessarily right or wrong. It happened. It's over and done with. Now, was the interaction that you just had necessary? Was your response to them necessary? In my head, no. He never gave me the honest answer, but I know that he knew what the answer was, because he would get there, and before saying it, kind of come out with a different response. And I'm like, well, you're not actually addressing what I'm asking, because you know that your response wasn't necessary. It might have been warranted. You might feel that it was correct, but it wasn't necessary. So this is a dope element that played into last night's kickboxing class, where learning that micro tweak of, just like I do now, just like I did now, my hand, turn. Don't hold it out like this. This is what he says to me. And that not holding it like this and the tweak, boop, works out way better. Something to carry out into life. Apply it. There's always room to use these things and grow. That's why beauty that I've found in doing more. Yeah, I don't know if that's the best way to say it or whatever, but trying to incorporate things that I do in life to my life. Micro tweaks help me improve my form with punching and kicking. These same micro tweaks in life can help me improve the way that I interact with people. Hope you enjoyed. Comments and feedback are always welcome. Make sure you hit that like button. Share it out if you do feel that it was that good. Have a good one. Peace.